Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Mark here from Mixit Studios. We are doing another React video today. If you are new to the channel, the format I take is Sound Engineer Reacts, as you've seen in the title. So I'm looking at things from a technical perspective, sort of analysing the mix, production, so all the technical aspects of a song, whilst I'm also still taking into account what I think of the song itself and the performances and so on, but I'm largely coming at it from a technical perspective. A friend of mine recommended this song to me. I have no idea. I've never heard of this artist. This is 347 Aiden. I think that's how you say it. Dancing in My Room is the song, and this is the official music/lyric video. So yeah, I don't know what to expect other than I can probably guess what kind of genre this will be, just knowing what my friend listens to, but I won't say just yet. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive in. This is Dancing in My Room by 347 Aiden, if I've said that right. And yeah, hope you enjoy the video.
Dancing in my room, swaying my feet, trying to get you love and a kiss on the cheek. Caught in candy skies like I'm stuck in a dream, and I've been feeling blue, you're the one that I need. Dancing in my room, swaying my feet, trying to get you love and a kiss on the cheek. Caught in candy skies.
Okay. This isn't necessarily what I expected. Kind of is, because yeah, I know my friend, he you know, it's not like he just listens to one genre. But this is cool. I like this so far. Nice little intro with you know, things a bit more like filtered sounding, lo-fi sounding, which is quite a common technique to introduce a song where, yeah, you have this sort of filtered like lo-fi sounding intro, you know, if you go for like some kind of radio effect, or wasn't quite like that with this, but it was along those lines. It can be a nice sort of way to bridge into a song starting. The drum sound is very, very cool. I really, really like the drum sound. There's a nice amount of roominess to it, so it's lively sounding, but the roominess that is there, it's quite a tight like room sound, and yeah, almost has a like slight kind of garage rock sort of feel to it. I think syncopated is the right word. The sort of syncopated bass line and then the like Rhodes kind of key sound that's going on, that is very cool. And the low end is like really thick on the bass. It's just has a very like wide image to it, fills out the mix very nicely. Yeah, very cool. I like this.
Like I'm stuck in a dream, and I've been feeling blue, you're the one that I need. And baby, how you give me reasons, justify all of my demons. Yeah, I love it when you speak it, cause you silence all my feelings. I'm feeling that I'm not okay, and everyone gon' run away and leave me in my room alone for just another day. I'm sipping on some
Nice reverb on that little synth bit that's come in.
yeah, I don't even care. Maybe just come round my way. Dancing in my room, swaying my feet, trying to get you love and a kiss on your cheek. Caught in candy skies like I'm stuck in a dream, and I've been
So nice bit here to offer a transition in the song where you've got the filtered drums come in. That's cool. Often, you know, you are looking in a mix for those creative points of interest where you can highlight or sort of accentuate certain elements or transitions within a song. There's some nice stuff like that going on here. The doubled vocal, the vocal doubling is nice on, yeah, the guy's vocal. I'm not a huge fan of doubled vocals. Quite often for me, there's quite a lot of stuff that I've worked on that I've mixed where I've sort of been offered up a doubled vocal track, but, you know, not with the, it's kind of take it or leave it kind of thing. And quite often I end up going with the single vocal take and not using the double take. I'm just a fan of like more upfront, direct sounding vocals, not necessarily dry, because I love a lot of vocals where you have interesting use of effects. You know, Tom York with some Radiohead stuff where you have those huge reverbs that really like bed into the arrangement. I love stuff like that, but then I'm also a fan of like very direct and dry and upfront vocals. Typically, a lot of the time for me, double vocals, I can kind of take it or leave it, and a lot of the time I don't necessarily feel like it adds anything, and quite often can be a crutch for singers, where John Lennon is a very famous example. He just didn't really like the sound of his voice that much, and he used vocal doubling to cover up for what he thought were the inadequacies of his voice, but actually he had a fantastic voice, and I loved the sound of his voice. You know, whenever you heard it not doubled up, I preferred that, but it, you know, it was never detrimental when his vocal was doubled up. It also didn't like negatively impact on the sound of his vocals. Yeah, I think here it works well. It complements his voice nicely. I do actually like it here. I think it works well. He's doing that kind of talk singing thing, so I think that works well for his voice, because he doesn't have the fullest sounding voice, and it's quite a young sounding voice. I mean, he looks pretty young, and the register of his voice is fairly high. Yeah, the double vocal works well. I like it, and again, it kind of adds to the, you know, the production isn't like super slick sounding. There's some nice stuff going on production wise that is actually, you know, of a quite high production value, but it's not a super slick sounding production. It's fairly like rough around the edges and a bit garage rock sounding, sort of indie flavour. So the double vocal works well towards that and actually flatters the arrangement, I think.
I've been dancing in my room, swaying my feet, trying to get you love.
It's kind of almost like a young Jamie T in a way. That's who he reminds me of. Some of his vocal stylings in particular. And just musically as well. Yeah, I liked that. That was very interesting. I'd like to hear more of this person's music. Like I said, towards the end, reminded me of Jamie T a bit, almost like a young Jamie T. I feel like there's definitely room there to... This is obviously an artist that is still going to grow and develop a lot, as any artist does. But yeah, being obviously a young artist, I felt like maybe I feel like I need to hear the song more, but I felt like it was starting to get a little repetitive, where it didn't sort of develop and flourish enough in the arrangement to keep me fully interested. But I do feel like this is a bit of a grower, this track. But yeah, it's just very cool. There are a lot of cool production elements going on there, and the mix was nice. I really liked the way the low end was handled. It just really like filled out the mix nicely, and yeah, the drums sort of sounding a bit kind of garage rock sounding with the sort of way the room miking was used, and yeah, it was very cool. I like that we're starting to see a lot of these younger artists that are doing new and interesting things. I mean, nothing is ever entirely new, and this guy is obviously, you know, he has his obvious influences, but just to see people who are more than anything kind of being uniquely themselves and not giving too much of a shit, which is particularly hard as a young person. So it's cool that we're starting to see more artists coming along like that, and that being a cool thing, because, you know, that can only be a good thing for young people, you know, the artists they look up to, seeing artists like this who are just being themselves. Yeah, I feel like this guy's definitely one to watch. I think he has a promising career potentially ahead of him. I think that kind of wraps up my thoughts on this. I hope you enjoyed the video, and check out my other videos if you like this one. I'm trying to cover a range of music and hopefully do some other topics. I've done a few studio sort of tutorial videos, and I'd like to share some of my thoughts. If you guys have any suggestions for that kind of thing, let me know. And yeah, subscribe, like the video, all of that stuff. Obviously don't do that if you didn't enjoy the video, but hopefully you did enjoy it, and you'll go do that. And I will see you again in the next video.